Hey everybody, welcome to my preview for the series, round one series of the 2020 NHL playoffs between Montreal Canadiens and the Philadelphia Flyers. It is actually the seventh time that these two teams have met in the playoffs. I'm not sure a lot of people know that. I've seen a lot on Twitter, people saying they can't beat the Flyers in the playoffs, so Philly's going to win. That's not exactly true because there's a famous Stanley Cup final series. So I don't know where to get that, but we'll get into all of that. So this is going to be a preview for that. I'd like to take 2 seconds here to credit Mark Dumont. He's a fabulous writer. He used to write for The Athletic, and now he writes for the Canadiens themselves on, I think if you go to NHL.com, Canadian section, and you'll see his writing. Great article. A lot of the stuff I have in here, I read there, and it really got me, the information I needed. Treege Wilson, also at the Hockey Writers, hockeywriters.com. He writes Canadian stuff. Great articles. Check him out. Go follow him on Twitter. He's got a great account. And Treege Wilson. Kind of know him a little, like sort of only on Twitter, but through the Habalisten. I used to do the Habalisten podcast every now and then, and that's where I learned that. The Habalisten guys gave me my start. I wasn't really good enough, but they gave me my start, and I'll always appreciate it with those guys. So check out that as well, Habalisten. Okay, enough with the credits. Let's get right into it. I'd like to say this as well. With the long layoff, so, if you miss the playoffs, usually you have 4 months or so in between when you're playing like real games. So with this long layoff, that's what it's like. It's like a different season. Even though we're trying to finish off the same season, it's kind of like a different season. So in using stats from this past season that we're trying to finish off, it doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to work. Now, what do I mean by that is take a team from one season to the next. A good team might not be as good the next season. A bad team might be a little better or even a lot better the next season. A player could have a bad season or a good season one year and do the opposite the next year. You don't know. Young guys like Suzuki and KK could go from looking bad, and then the next season, they looked a lot better. So it's hard to really judge, say that those stats are meaningful here. I don't know if that's true, so that's my opinion. When Montreal ran into injury problems, they were like the 8th or 9th best team in the league. Great power play. Offense was in the top, I think they were 11th, and they were just doing really good. And then they ran into injury problems. I think a lot of people looking at this series and Montreal's chances are judging the team that was after that, and that lost to the Detroit Red Wings 4 times, had 2 8-game losing streaks. They're looking at that team. That team was mostly a team that had no depth, lacked depth. That was the biggest problem. That going forward is starting to improve, and in this playoffs, their depth isn't really a problem unless somebody gets injured because everybody's pretty much healthy, and it shouldn't be a problem. So we might see a different team, and it might be a different outcome than most people think. On that note, let's get into the series. 6 times they've met previous to this. 3-3, so they're tied. Montreal's won 16 games to Philadelphia's 15 games in those series. So it's a tiebreaker. This is the 7th series. It's like a tiebreaker. In 73, Habs in 5. 76, Habs in 4. Stanley Cup final. Montreal wins the cup. Keeps the Flyers from being a dynasty and winning 3 in a row. 87, Flyers in 6. 89, Habs in 6. 2008 and 2010, Flyers in 5 both times. So this is a tiebreaker. During this season, this is probably the only place I will use season stats. November 7th, 2019, a 3-2 overtime loss for Montreal. Overtime, so it was a close game, and it was the only time in the 3 games Price and Hart faced off against each other. So that, if you're looking at what happened in the rest of the other 2 games, it doesn't really transfer over to these games if Carter Hart and Carey Price are going to play all 7 games, or however many games it goes to, together against each other. November 30th, 2019, another overtime loss for Montreal, this time 4-3. In net, Keith Kincaid and Brian Elliott. Now, Brian Elliott, quality goaltender, as we'll see in a minute. Keith Kincaid, not so much. So it doesn't really reflect. January 16th, 2020, 4-1 win for Montreal. Again, nothing to get excited about. Hart and Elliott both out. Somebody named Lyon was the goalie. I remember we were excited that Montreal will win, and they did. So it doesn't really reflect here. Tatar had 3 goals, 2 assists for 5 points in those 3 games. Deneau, 5 assists for 5 points. Weber and Sherrod both 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Provorov, Couturier, Konechny, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. And Giroux, 2 assists for 2 points. Now, Montreal beat Pittsburgh 3-1. Flyers won in the round robin all 3 games they played. Montreal, 10 goals in 4 games. Flyers, 11 goals in 3 games. So that's an advantage to the Flyers there. But Montreal ranks top 3 in 5-on-5 play in most key offensive categories. The only thing there, I'm not sure if that's just in this opening round or I think it's actually the regular season. They are a top 3 ranked team in 5-on-5 play in most key offensive categories. We'll get to that over here in a second. So 5-on-5 play, I'm going to give advantage to Montreal. That's for sure. 5-on-5 play, big advantage to Montreal. If they could only have the whole series every minute, 5-on-5, it'd be great. So some good and some bad stats from the season. Even strength goals for, 10th in the league. Even strength goals against, 9th in the league. That's goals against, so that's worst. Most goals against, not a good stat, where that's a good stat. So you can see the two yin and yang. It's like they're two opposite ends. Offense was good, defense wasn't as good. Shots for, 2nd in the league. Shooting percentage, 8.4%. That is what keeps them from having more points or scoring more goals, I should say. Because look, they're shooting shots for, 2nd. Scoring chances for, 3rd. High danger chances for, 1st. Awesome offensive numbers. Why are they scoring more and why aren't they winning more? And one of the big reasons, shooting percentage is at 8.4. High danger shots against, also 8th. Not good. That's for 8th most. Power play percentage, 17.7, 22nd in the league. Now it's the opposite. 22nd is not good. And they started out in the 30s and it dropped into the 20s. It managed to stay there, dropped into the teens, back up to the 20s, a little seesawing, and then their home power play just bottomed out and was abysmal. Their road power play was good. And the only thing that kept it probably above 10% is the road power play. Corsi for percentage, 54.7%, 3rd in the league. That's puck possession numbers. They were great in this qualifying round. Their numbers were lower. They only had 1 game where they were above 50% or at 50%, maybe even. Only the 1 time, but they can improve that going on, and they'll probably need to. QR is qualifying round scoring leaders for Montreal. Weber, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. Byron, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points, and that beautiful assist, that pass to win the series. Because that's what it did. That was the series winner. Petrie, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points, 2 game winners, 1 super snipe. Lehkonen, 1 goal, the game winner, the series winner, 2 assists, 3 points. Awesome for him if he can keep up the offensive production because the defense was there, that's for sure. KK, 2 goals, first 2 games, 2 points. And Suzuki, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Love to see those numbers go up for Suzuki. On the other side, Lawton, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. Hayes, 4 assists, 4 points. Obe Kubel, 2 goals, 2 points. Farabee and Sanheim, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. And Ghost, which is Shane Gossesbeer, 2 goals against Tampa in the last round robin game for 2 points. Price was 3-1 with a .947 save percentage. Awesome. Hart 2-0, .971. Elliott 1-0, .941. Great numbers. You got 2 good goalies. If one happens to not be playing well, then you throw the other guy in, change their momentum probably completely, and turn the game around. They've got that option. Montreal doesn't. Lindgren's been the backup. I doubt he's going to do that. At least to me, put Primo as the backup. Gives you a guy that maybe doesn't do it, but actually has a chance if he has to come in to be that kind of goalie that can stop the, turn the tide and turn the momentum around. But it's Lindgren, so I don't know if that's going to happen. Power plays for both teams. Maybe this is a series that has no power play goals. They both had 0, no power play goals. PK percent, I don't expect that to change for at least for Philadelphia. Montreal will eventually get one. I don't know if they can turn it around, but they've got to do something with their power play. PK percentage, 82.4%. That's higher. It was 78.7, I think, percent for the regular season. So that's up. They got to keep that up because if they're going to keep taking penalties like they did against Pittsburgh, except in that last game, they're going to need that PK working well. PK for Philadelphia, 90%. I don't expect it to stay there, but they've got a good PK. And their power play is not going to stick there. They got a decent power play at the very least. Now, shots for, I didn't give this for Philadelphia, and I don't know why, but at least for Montreal, shots for 28.8 for in the QR in the qualifying round, and shots against 33.5 a game. So they've been giving up too many shots against Pittsburgh, and they got to stop, and they can't do that against Philadelphia. That will bite them in the ass. Now, 2 surprises, scoreless players on each team. Tatar, as we saw here, leads Montreal in the regular season games with 5 points. He's scoreless. So against Pittsburgh, you got to figure maybe against Philly, he's going to come out of that, maybe hopefully big time. And on the other side is Giroux. That can't stay the same. Giroux's going to get some points. He may be on the other side now of his prime, but it doesn't mean he's no good. He's going to get some points. That's got to be worrisome that Giroux is scoreless because he's going to score. On the offense, I also, no, I guess I'll leave that stuff out. I had some side stuff. Maybe I'll put it in at the end. I forgot here. I should say Montreal played a very near-perfect game against Pittsburgh in that 4th game to win. They had 54% control of the shots and 70% control of the high-danger chances 5-on-5. Great numbers, and if they can keep it 5-on-5, they do really well. I think I'm going to just stick with that from here. 1 page down. Did I go for that? I went for that. Okay, so I'm sorry. Offense. I'm going to just compare advantage. Who's got an advantage? It's kind of like what I did here with the 5-on-5. Montreal advantage in the 5-on-5. Offense. There's room for improvement on offense for Montreal, as key guys were held goalless and some even pointless. So we know that. And Tatar, you can't get more key than Tatar. Philly has the same problem. Obviously you got Giroux. There's probably other guys, and you can see by the numbers they weren't scoring a ton. So Philly has the same problem, and you have to think they will wake up. Philly's got to wake up. They've got good offense and a good defense. Philly's going to wake up, and Montreal's guys had better wake up too, or this could be over quickly. So if Montreal Tatar doesn't wake up, get a little bit better scoring, like Suzuki's got to get a little chip in a little more, stuff like that. We're going to need to see that kind of production, or it could be over quickly. Tatar, Gallagher, and Suzuki are all due to put some numbers on the board, and Gallagher, there's another one assist. In averaging 2.5 goals per game so far, Montreal has to do better if they hope to win here. Now, I know Philadelphia's offense is a little better than Montreal's, but Montreal is very capable. I guess I left it in there. I wasn't going to have that. I did another video with this up for the members, and I wanted to erase that, but it's too late. It's there. So I think it's advantage Philly on the offense. I do. I don't think it's a huge advantage, and I think we're going to find out. It might not even be an advantage. If Montreal can discover their goal scoring from the beginning of the regular season that they had, if they can start doing that again, it might not be an advantage Philly, but I think going into this it is. Next up is defense. Defense, low event hockey. That's what they've been playing, low event hockey. Wait for the opponents to make mistakes and pounce on it. It's a boring trap-like system that beat Pittsburgh. It did beat Pittsburgh, but it could be harder to make that work against Philadelphia. They're a bigger team. Montreal's a small team. They might not be able to make that trap work if they can't keep up that physical play. Sherratt, Weber have been good at both ends of the ice. Same for Petrie and Kulak. Mostly Petrie, but Kulak's been good. Tighten up that third pair, and Philly might find getting to the net to score harder than they thought. And then especially when you got a dominating Price, if you do get through, and you got to beat him, so it's going to be hard. They're going to have their work cut out for them. So now what I mean by tighten up the third pairing, I don't really like Mete on the right side. So I would like to see Mete on the left side and maybe bring in Juleson or Fleury, whichever one is ready, and give him a shot, get him some experience, and tighten up that third side. I think that'll be better than having Willette there and Mete on the right side. Defense. Philly's got a good young, deep, talented pool of defensemen, and they're playing solid hockey. Some of the bottom four guys, 3 of them are on the young side. Montreal maybe can take advantage of that, and hopefully that'll be something they can do, and maybe they can turn it around. But I think in general, defense still got to go with Philly, even though Montreal's defense has been playing good. Depth scoring advantage to be determined. Why? It made the difference depth scoring. It made the difference offensively for Montreal. Lehkonen with 3 points and the series-winning goal. Byron with his goal and 2 assists, and that beautiful pass to Lehkonen through the crease for that game winner where he went in and kind of didn't have control of the puck. Ref had his arm up for a penalty against Pittsburgh. And he made everybody think he was going to go around the net and maybe do a wraparound. And instead, he sneakily passed it through the crease right onto Lehkonen's stick. And Lehkonen finished. No pun intended. So that was really beautiful. So that's depth scoring there by Byron. Petrie and Weber, they're defensemen, so I'll put them in as depth scoring, but maybe that's not really fair. But 4 goals, 2 game winners from Petrie. Awesome. Nick Suzuki, not depth scoring, but he needs to score a little more. A goal and assist, and that fabulous snipe, and Petrie's fabulous snipe. Wow, just both of them just make me think of what it's going to look like when Caulfield gets here in a couple of years. So awesome. KK, who right now is depth scoring, starting to emerge and show how well-rounded his game is becoming. A 200-foot player, his improved skating and physical strength have really helped bring his game along, and that's without a doubt that improved skating, he can keep up the pace. He looks better out there with everybody, and that physical strength, he doesn't look like an 18-year-old boy against men when they're physically up against each other. He's starting to look a lot better and getting advantage physically out there because he's not a kid anymore. He's 20 now. He's a man now. He's still growing, and he's still going to come into it, but his physical strength is much better. His goals in each of the first 2 games have him really impressing all around, even though they're a bit lucky, but he's just impressing. It looks like he's ready to stay and not go back to the AHL, even though I said I thought he should go back, but now you see him actually playing. He looks like he's ready and he's going to stick around. Drouin, who's not depth scoring but is playing like it, who I'll have to reluctantly say got better as the series went on. I mean, not like better, like, oh, lights out better, but he got a little better, and he'll need to get even better if they hope to win here. They're going to need Drouin to win here. That's without a doubt. Kulak chipped in with an assist and was solid as the 4th-line defenseman. He could chip in with an assist and a odd goal here and there, and Montreal's really going to need that. Main thing, he looked like he was solid, top 4. So, depth scoring advantage to be determined, because I don't know enough about Philly's depth scoring that I'm going to judge and say, well, Montreal's better. I could be easily wrong there. I don't know enough about Philly's. You got guys there that I think I just don't know enough about them. So I'm going to leave it as to be determined. Goaltending. Is there an advantage to Montreal in goaltending when Montreal, you know what, I wrote this, this is for something else, sorry. So we're going to get to that. Carey Price, goaltending. I called the subject Carey Price. It's called goaltending advantage. I've got it as Montreal. Here's why. 947 save percentage versus Pittsburgh. At 5-on-5, he faced 96 shots, and he made 92 saves for a 959 save percentage. 5-on-5 and PK combined, he saved 4 goals above average, which means that's 4 goals that the average goalie wouldn't have saved that he saved. That's basically a win right there. 4 goals. In that series especially, that was a win. So to say, did he steal the series? He didn't. He contributed to the series being won greatly. He didn't steal it, but he did steal a game, and that's proof of the fact that he stole a game. Which is everybody was calling for. How many years now he's got to steal a game? Well, he did there. He was calm, cool, and collected no matter what happened in front of him. And that's a calming influence on any team when you see your goalie, no matter what just happened, you go, oh, and he's just calm and he's just business and he's ready to go. That calms you down. It just has this good influence on the team. And Price was just totally focused, dialed in. An amazing puck tracker. That's got to be focused. You got to be calm to track the puck the way he does. Square to the shooter, always in position. Just a fantastic goalie. Now, if you look at the stats for the other guys, it's not that they're bad. That I say that Montreal has the goaltending advantage, but I think right now, definitely Carter Hart's supposed to be the heir apparent to Carey Price's king of goalies in the NHL, but I don't think he's got it just yet. So advantage to Montreal in that. That's what I think. Special teams. Right on the bottom there, I got an advantage to Philly. Both teams no power play goals. Whoever gets special teams going again will have a huge advantage. But you got to think Montreal's power play looks just as bad as it did in the regular season. Doesn't look like there's any reason to think that it's going to all of a sudden magically get better. I hope it does, but it doesn't give you any reason to think that. And you got to think Philadelphia is going to start scoring. I got to give special team to Philadelphia just based on the power plays. So Montreal still has no pressure in this series. Philly doesn't want to be the team that lost to the last place team in the playoffs. So far as pressure goes, and I didn't mark that here, I think advantage to Montreal as far as having pressure. They still don't have any pressure. And I'll tell you the truth, if they can make it to the playoff, to the cup final, they still won't have any pressure because they're not supposed to have gone this far. So that brings us to the last two things. One of them is keys to victory. Keys to victory. I left that on. Might as well leave it still. Keep the momentum going from the Pittsburgh series. They've got momentum. They've got to come out right away in the first period of that first game from the first puck drop and just keep that going. Physical play, keep skating, keep doing everything they can, Price dominating. If they can keep that going, that's going to be a key to victory. Play 60 minutes of hockey. They're not going to be able to get away with letting down at any point in this series. You got to be out there for 60 minutes, and it's go, 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 and you're playing for your hockey lives. There's no doubt. And since you did give up that chance for Lafreniere, which turned out to be doesn't matter because they didn't get it and they wouldn't have gotten him, but you're giving up a really good, solid draft pick. Make it pay and go all the way to the cup and win the cup. So play 60 minutes because your hockey lives kind of depend on it. Physical play, keep that physical play. This is going to be harder for Montreal. Philly's a much bigger team than, well, they're a bigger team than Pittsburgh. And it's going to be harder for Montreal as a smaller team to keep banging the body and being ahead of the game. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but Montreal needs to still be physical and needs to make that pay off. Special teams play. Montreal has to try to get that power play going. But overall, Montreal should try to keep it 5-on-5 as much as they can. It's where they excel. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you make them not take penalties. So you do things maybe not to draw penalties as opposed to some players try to draw a penalty against them, right? So in this case, maybe it's better off that you stay 5-on-5 and have as few penalties as possible and decline any that you get. Never seen it happen before. Probably won't happen. But 5-on-5 play, and lots of it, will be a key to victory for Montreal. Claude Julien. Julien must be prepared to juggle lines when needed. His line juggling in Game 3 turned the tide versus Pittsburgh. And there's no doubt that Game 3, first period, after promising us something done on the lines, brought in only Jake Evans, who then got hurt. By the second, or early in the second period, when it wasn't working, he juggled the lines, put Suzuki first line center, shifted Dano down back a little bit. He changed the lineup, and it worked. And the next two games was beautiful. So he has to be willing to do that. At the first sign that this isn't working, switch it up. We know that Suzuki's capable. Suzuki's capable of taking the responsibility. And last in the keys to victory, Carey Price. If I didn't leave the numbers up there for who my picks are, it would give you a reason to keep watching, but please stay and watch. I'd appreciate that. So Carey Price must keep up his dominating play. As Price goes, so will the Habs, and that's pretty much it, as it is. If Price keeps up that dominating play, Montreal will keep playing well and have a chance in this series. If Carey Price's play all of a sudden drops, need I say more? That's what will happen in Montreal. So key that Carey Price keeps up that dominating play. So predictions, I'm going to do a two-way prediction because I think these teams are a lot closer than people give it. I really do. They're closer than people give it. So I figure if Philly is winning and Philly is outplaying them, they're going to do it quickly, Philly in 5. So if Philly's got the advantage and it's every game like that, Philly's going to win in 5. Montreal has a chance to take a game. I think if Montreal is playing better and able to stay with Philly and make it a game, make it a series and go all the way, it'll be all the way. Montreal in 7. I think Montreal has a chance, but I don't think they're going to knock Philly out in anything early at all. So Philly in 5, Montreal in 7. That's how I've got it. Let me know in the comment section how you think it'll go. I'd appreciate to see that. And that's it for the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And while you're down there doing that, that's where the comment section is. Leave me any comments about anything I've said here, what you think and how you would change it, and what you think the prediction will be for this series. And do that down there. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And that'll get you more videos like this right here, Talking Habs. And I think that's it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe out there. Wear your mask where you need to. And you'll be able to come back here and watch more Talking Habs videos. And that's great for everybody. Yeah, I've got a big head about that, don't I? Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Peace out. I'll see you next video. Hope you enjoy. Bye-bye, y'all.